that's pretty much for both the outer journey and inner journey level, how stage 1 and stage 2 work. Now we come to the second key turning point, what I call the change of plans. This is the moment when the hero has now formulated the goal they want to achieve. In his case, he's going to get the best plea bargain he can for these defendants, and they begin pursuing it. Now, the point to notice if you're a screenwriter or filmmaker, or even if you're a novelist, that whatever the outer motivation, whatever this visible goal your hero is going to pursue that defines your movie, your hero shouldn't start actually pursuing it and taking action to cross that finish line until the beginning of Act 2. You got to take an entire 25% of your screenplay just to build up to your hero taking those first steps. Everything up to now has been him gathering information to figure out what are we going to do. It's only when he takes that first step of going to Guantanamo that he's now moving toward the goal. And this is stage 3, what I call progress. Because his plan is, okay, I'm going to get the facts and I'm going to juggle them around and figure out a way that I can get them off with the least sentence possible. And that's when he meets another key character in the story, and that is his nemesis. That's my term for the person who is at cross purposes with the hero. If the reflection is there to help the hero, the nemesis is the one who wants to stop the hero from achieving his goal. He's the one in opposition. He's the villain, in this case more like a villain, but he could be an opponent if it's a sports story, or it could be a rival if it's a love story or romantic comedy, but it's somebody who goes against the villain. And when we meet Jessup, that's the Jack Nicholson character, a few things are apparent immediately. One is he is way more powerful than Kaffee is. This is a must. When you're writing a screenplay or a story of any kind, you always want your nemesis to exceed your hero in their power and abilities and strength and so on. It must seem like it's going to be impossible for your hero to overcome the nemesis. So Jessup has all the power, all the rank. He puts Kaffee down. Kaffee is like sort of meek with him and shy and just wants to get out of the situation. He seems almost wimpy in the face of Nathan Jessup, which is exactly as it should be, because now we're involved. Now we realize the conflict is big, and the bigger the conflict, the more our emotional involvement in the story. So he starts working and working and working towards, Kaffee does, toward figuring out or putting together his defense for them. Now, on the inner journey level, remember he's got this tug-of-war going on between his identity, his safe persona that keeps him stuck in a place that is familiar in his comfort zone, but is not going to lead to any fulfillment. And by the way, I don't think I mentioned this, the rule is if the hero doesn't move into his essence, if the hero is not able to shed his identity and have the courage to live his truth, he cannot achieve the goal. He doesn't realize that. The hero at this point in the story thinks he'll pursue this goal so he can keep his identity in place. But it will always follow, because you as the writer are going to make it this way, that unless the hero finds the courage to leave his identity, he's not going to get that goal. So now your hero is vacillating, moving into his essence a bit, because he's got to move closer to the goal, but that becomes very scary because he's lost his armor, his emotional protection is gone, so then he'll retreat and go back into his identity. So you'll see when you watch the movie, or if you watch the movie again, as you watch this during this stretch, Kaffee is at times going to seem like a really good lawyer. He's going to do smart things, he's going to figure out things, he's going to know how to manipulate things, not Kaffee, but some of the other characters. He's coming up with ideas. Other times he just wants to back off, just get a plea bargain or whatever, until finally, when he realizes his defendants are not cooperating at all, he says, I can't understand these guys, I'm going to quit. I'm going to get the lawyer replaced. And he makes that threat right before we reach the next key turning point, what I call the point of no return.